stuff together. Just curious as like why this isn't working for me right now. Slightly annoying, but I can hear my microphone like normal, but it's like my output won't play. So there we go. Let me pull this close to me. So yeah, I think I can hear a little better with that. So yeah, we're gonna turn that off. And we're gonna rock just like this. So what we doing today, man, we just writing with get some nighttime journaling in with the this narwhal that I got. So just chilling, man. How y'all doing today? I was supposed to start this stream up earlier today, but I got caught up in some things, so we'll make it happen today. We'll do some journal prompts too. So if y'all have some journal prompts y'all want to see, let me know. I do have a few here about just trying to, you know, make some conversation. Let's see. All right, we'll skip over. So this is the pen that we write with. This is the pen of the month for August. So we're writing in blue. So hold on, I'm trying to find the pen because this is one of my favorite pens that I have. I know it's not one that I use that often, but I'm definitely enjoying it now after using it for some time and getting pretty decent with, you know, using the stub. I never really was a stub fan, but you know, this pen was given to me and you know, I just decided that, you know, I needed to use it. And so I grabbed it and I kind of just picked it up and just started taking a look at it, and I'm just, you know, it kind of grew on me, so it's worth it. And I think that a lot of times, like, you know, we should try things out that we don't normally like get opportunities to try out. So let that dry a little bit and then move on. So one of like my favorite journal prompts to use is like one of my favorite things to journal about is like, what did you learn today? And one of the things that I tend to do is try to sit back and just, ask myself, like, what did I learn? Like, what did I do today? Because you should be learning every day, but I think like being mindful of, of what you're learning and being able to recall that is, just as important as, learning something, right? So from my perspective, like what I learned today is don't leave your so we were at the urgent care today, and a guy was being a dump truck. Well, it was a garbage truck, right? You know how like they have the like the back of them can lift up to let the trash out, and the guy was driving down the street with it up, and he got caught up on got caught on the power line, which was kind of wild. Luckily, like it didn't break the power line and nobody got hurt, but that just ended up being a very dangerous situation, and not paying attention to that can pretty much like can take your life and somebody else's life. So one of the things I learned today, it wasn't one of those things like I didn't know, but one of those things I was reminded of is not to be careless. trying to get used to using this pen as well. 'Cause I noticed with these vacuum fill pens, you don't necessarily get you don't get to post your pens. I mean, you can post on this, but a lot of times it's not necessarily frowned upon, but it's not really a good practice to do so because you have to open these pens up for them to be able to have the ink to flow through. So it's just one of those things where, like, I'm just trying to get used to it. And I've had this pen for a while now, a year or two, and I haven't really been using it to its fullest extent. But lately, I cleaned it out. It had some ink stuck into it, and I cleaned it, and I just wanted to, get more into using these things, and so I've decided to try to give it a shot and go from there. So yeah, another prompt that I like to use as well is what made you smile today. And so I'm working on my handwriting. This is an exercise of helping me with my handwriting as well. But one of the things that made me smile today, in particular, was I got to hang out with my kids at the park, and I hang out with them every day because I work from home and they're home. So I get to hang out with them all the time. So it's not a situation where, like, I don't get to see my kids ever. So it's like I just got to hang out with them at the park. I got off work a little early, and I was able to kick it with them and make sure that they were just see just sitting around and watching them have fun. Play in the park and play in the water and all that stuff, man. Like, it's just a good time. And I know that sometimes you don't necessarily get to do everything you want to do, but I try for myself to just get up and go hang out with them and do the things that they want to do for themselves. So yeah, I know from my perspective, man, that's one of the things that made me smile today, was just hanging out with them, chilling with them. Let's get another prompt up here, and then we'll go into a pretty straightforward. I got my microphone turned all the way down, all the way up, and so I didn't want to be yelling. Is that better, or do I need to turn the music down more? All right, cool. Thank you. What do y'all want to write about? What you want? What you want to write about? So I know I'm not trying to get like too personal, but I know from my perspective, like, you know, it's rare that I journal at night. I'm usually a morning journal person, so it's kind of new for me, you know. So I never really journaled about my goals either. That was one of the things that I always kind of stayed away from, in a sense. I don't know why, but what are some of y'all goals? Or like, you know, you keep them to yourself and write them down yourself. I know, like, one of my goals for the year, I gotta get back on this training for this half marathon too. I've been really, I don't want to say I've been lazy about it, but I definitely haven't been doing the training and taking the training as serious as I should. That much. I know I do the runs. I skip the long runs sometimes. I have a long run tomorrow that's like 7 miles. I've been procrastinating. I know that's one of my goals for the year is to get back into training and run a half marathon in November, possibly. So we'll see how that goes. But I know if I sign up for the training, if I sign up for the race, I'll do it. You know, I just have to sign up for the race. And that's one of the things that's been keeping me from doing it. Take the training serious. It's supposed to be hard, and yeah, that's a good one too. Writing down the successes of the day. I know one of my early morning successes is just like getting up and making my bed, and my wife is just like, why do you have to make the bed every day? Just like, it's a win. Like, no matter how you look at it, it's like, it's a win. So I know that's one of the big things for me. It's like that creates like a habit of like, I'm just trying to get wins every day. And the first thing I do is make it every day. But yeah, writing about, you know, 3 successes in a day, that's huge. One of my successes was setting a stream up on my computer. I'm pretty good with computers. I do this for a living. I work on computers. I work in IT. How about that? So yeah. Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to keep that down. But yeah, one of the successes was setting this stream up. I swapped some software around. I went from doing Streamlabs to just went back to old school like OBS Studio, and trying to get my phone to work as like my camera and have a webcam as well. So I have two different angles and stuff, so people can see me and they see the camera. And it was a struggle, more of a struggle than I expected it to be. I don't want to say more than I'm used to, because I have my days at work where things just, where it is more than I can handle. But for the most part, this was pretty simple, and I'm pretty thankful that I have a hybrid job where I can be at home and do multiple things at the same time. So that was one of my successes. Yeah, definitely worth the effort. It was, like I said, it was harder than I expected it to be, but I just was I don't know what I was expecting. I thought it would be just, click, plug and play, and it turned out to not be like that. And I had to try to create these profiles on here multiple times and trying to get it all to work at the same time, and it was just like it turned to be a headache. And my tripod broke this morning, and I was just it was a struggle. I'll say that much. And I just wasn't in the best of moods when it came to that, and I was just like, this sucks. So either way, I got my microphone turned all the way down, all the way up. Thank you. And I'm still playing around with some of the settings. That's why I keep looking over here to my right. Yeah, I have my second screen over, and I just keep looking, trying to make sure that everything is working as it should. Seeing as how this is the first one, and I want to get to a point where I can do these on a scheduled basis, and keep coming back and doing, better and better things. I know a lot of a lot of things are new for me as far as this setup goes, because I was writing in a Galen Leather notebook for the longest time, and this is a new notebook, and this isn't a new pen, but it's new to me, as it's one of those things that I've owned it for a while, but I've never used it, and I never used this ink either. So like it's all kind of new in my opinion, or it's new not in my opinion, but like it's all new to me. So I'm just trying to get used to it, and I don't use stub nibs at all. This is the only pen that I have with a stub, and it's kind of weird using this. So I'm just trying to get used to this writing style and how this ink flows and how the pen feels on the paper, and it's just a lot. Hey, how you doing? So yeah, we're just doing some nighttime journaling before bed, because I'm gonna get off here shortly, and I gotta get some sleep. I've been up since 4:30 this morning, so it's getting to that point. But yeah, we're just doing some mindfulness journaling, about the day. How are you? This is the Narwhal Original Plus. It's in it's called a Melicary Purple, but it's a vacuum fill pen. And the ink is Alchemy Raven Blue. So yeah, it's a Narwhal Original Plus. It's pretty cool. I got this pen from Pen Chalet, and I got this pen like 2 years ago, and I never really when I got it, when I was asked about it, I was asked to make a video on it, and I made the video and I asked for the stub, and I didn't like it. And I think I didn't like it because I don't think I didn't put enough time in it to write with it. So I just put ink in it, I did the video, and I kind of set it in my box, and I never used it again. And 2025, I made a conscious decision to try and use the tools and the pens and the paper and the ink that I already had instead of buying new stuff. So just going through things, and I was like, well, let me clean this pen and see what happens, and just learn to write with it. And I'm actually enjoying it now. I'm glad I gave it a second chance. I know this prompt here, how do I feel? I know when I'm in the gym a lot, I ask myself, how do I feel? I know one of the main things about me in the gym is I sit up here and I would ask myself, how do I feel? And I would, mentally scan my body. And when I was really, really like running like 10K, like 6 miles a day, every time I ran, it was like 6, 7 miles. At like mile 4, my right foot, like the right side of my right foot would go numb. And it wasn't like a numb, or like, how like, yeah, like that numb feeling, or like it feels like you got like you're tingling and stuff. It was like that. And so I learned to start asking myself, how do I feel? And one of the things I feel is like, I'm honestly right now, I'm sleeping, but accomplished though. This notebook is really cool too. I bought this one at a local store, and I was excited to find this particular size. I went in looking for A5 or something along those lines, but I ended up with this B6 plus size, and it's like the size of a paperback book, and it's really interesting because I've had smaller journals and I've had bigger journals, but I never had one this size. And I think that this is the nearly perfect journal. Like I would obviously like the paper I'm partial to is a Toma River paper, but I do thoroughly enjoy this paper here. It's so nice. It has like a really good feel to it, and all the pens that I use with it are just really good. So right now it's my favorite. Okay, yeah, we'll do one more. Um, let's see, how can you stay organized? I know me personally, I stay organized. I use the calendar on my phone consistently. Hold on. Like I absolutely have to use reminders and alerts because if I don't, like I know for a fact I'm gonna forget a lot of different things. And so I have to use those reminders. I have to have those calendars because it's just me. When it comes to work, it's just me. So if I don't, I'm gonna be lost. So, but yeah, I think that's all we're gonna do for tonight. I just want to get on here and you know have some quick conversation. Honestly, this was a test stream, so please consider subscribing to the channel, and I will be back. I'll post a stream schedule, and we can do this more often. So I have to go to bed. But yeah, I appreciate everybody who stopped in, who chat. I know Beth, I know for me, yeah, if I don't do the alerts and block the time, it's just my mind is just like I'm off somewhere else, man. But yeah, I appreciate everybody tuning in and stopping by. I'm sorry this wasn't as long as it could have been, but next time I promise we'll do an hour.